Hello, dear folks. Welcome to the East-West Show, exclusively sponsored by Paul Bottani, a name brand internationally renowned for men's jacket, suits. And today, for celebrating New Year, I'm still in the mood of it, and I'm wearing Chinese with my friend Steve Hundley. We're talking about our New Year resolution. Steve Hundley is a well-known financial planner and advisor. The Steve Hundley Financial Service is very famous. And I myself, in addition to being a friend of Steve, always knock on the door and say, Steve, I have this problem, I have that problem. He always helped me with his guidances, which worked out. All right, so to Steve, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Jack.
All right, very good. Well, today, as the title of the show says, a New Year resolution.
Right.
And I do understand our New Year resolution had to relate to Donald Trump as our president.
Right.
Because it looks that we're not only starting a new year with his inauguration, but also we're starting a new lifestyle, everything, every aspect.
That's right.
So without checking about your partisanship, may I go ahead and ask you, how do you feel about our lovely president, Mr. Donald Trump, please?
You know, Donald Trump has made some unique statements, to say the least. From the financial standpoint, the market standpoint, he said he's going to redo the tax code. The tax code, I don't know if it can be redone, to be frank with you. I know a lot about the tax code and how to...
That's your area of expertise.
Right. But if you look at the stock market since he's taken over, stock market is dropped a little. Stock market, people in the stock market, could be anybody, 401ks or whatever, don't like uncertainty. Nobody likes uncertainty. Put my money away, I want it to grow. I don't know what's going to happen. So, and you look at our trading partners.
You, sir. Just excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Does he represent the instability or stability, as far as his style is concerned?
If you look at what his statements are, just on the financial end, not the international, or whatever, and what they're talking about doing, it's very unsettling, because I think one of the big things that they're talking about is changing the healthcare system. Healthcare system can be expensive if you're a small employer or a big employer. What changes are you going to make? But at the same time, if you pull it out, how are people going to get health care? How are they going to stay healthy?
The vacuum, right?
Exactly.
The vacuum.
Exactly.
Yes, okay.
Exactly. So that and I want to go back to our trading partners. We do a lot of business. The American government does a lot of business, or the American people do a lot of business with China. We do tremendous amount. One of our biggest trading partners is, even though they're talking about building a wall in Mexico, one of the huge trading partners is Canada. You know, Canada, we import more oil from Canada, we do timber, we do billions of dollars. Do we want to disrupt that? Do we want to be so isolated in America that we only trade with nobody, you know? I know that, you know, trading with the Chinese has blossomed both countries. And there's been some glitches along the way, but to just completely ignore the world's biggest economy, which is China, statistically. You know?
Let's take care of that one by one, area by area. International trade-wise, he is walking out from NAFTA.
That's correct.
Right? And he is eventually going to walk out from TPP.
That's right.
Right? Okay. With these two walkout, which is already in process for NAFTA, and the second with TPP, which is eventually he's going to do, are we, like you said, quote unquote, isolating ourselves?
I believe
or embracing the role with both arms?
I think we are, at least the signals that I get from Mr. Trump and his administration, is that we are really becoming an isolationist nation. We are just like America first. We're not going to trade with anybody. We're not going to, you know, which is wrong. We're in a global, as you know very well, we're in a global economy. Money moves across electronically, billions of dollars every day. central banks in Europe, central banks in Asia, dealing with all sorts of trade things. You look at Los Angeles. The largest port in the United States is right here in LA. If we'd stop trading with China, do you think the impact would be catastrophic?
Would never be positive, right?
It would be catastrophic on the local Southern California economy, not to mention California and the United States. So I think you have to be really careful.
Lots of people claim him, supporters I mean, to be of the old style as versus the Obama as bringing the new style, represent new style. So I believe people your age, my age, represent the old style.
Right.
Do you like him, the old style, quote unquote?
You know, things change. We've become a technological society. We become, we have become faster. Things happen quicker. People react differently. What happened in the 60s and what's happening today, two different, at its lightning speed, okay?
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, you can't stop it. It's going to get faster. People are going to be trading. People are going internationally. People are doing all sorts of different things. So even though you may think, well, let's just do it conservatively and kind of the old style way, unfortunately, Jack, those days may be gone. Just because of the speed of which things are done.
Oh my God! Yeah, I'm so sad about it. And also, speaking of the nowadays technology that leads the world in the light speed already, there's tons of criticism about Hillary Clinton, her way of handling emails.
Oh yeah.
Right? On the other hand, our beloved President Donald Trump is a frenzy of tweeters.
Yeah.
Right. So does that bring a national concern, national safety concern to you?
Well, I think in the election, if you looked at it, the big thing with Hillary is she sending classified information over a private, non-encrypted email system? And from what I saw...
I'm not a supporter of her too either.
Well, okay, what I saw is that when the FBI looked at it twice and the other security services of the United States, they found no classified information,
and that's why they decided not to put charge.
Yeah, but Twitter is different. Twitter is more, it's so instantaneous. It's just like, it's like a puff of smoke. The guy says it, it starts a fire,
right away.
We go to the next one. We go to and people are waiting for the Twitter. You know, my greatest fear is that something will slip. Some piece of information that maybe should not be public.
Yeah, yeah. If Jack Chow is a tweeter, right, but doesn't have anything to do with the national security.
Right.
But President of the United States, though, his whereabouts, on Twitter, people will find out exactly at a certain moment exactly where he is.
And the fact that people who are not friendly to the United States,
they will find that out.
They're going to take a look at his. They're going to take a look at his tweets, and they're going to say, you know, what's the pattern here? If we do this, what is he going to? How is he going to react? And they look at the pattern of those tweets, which is open public information, right? And they'll say, okay, if we do this, he's going to do that. And then, okay, is that what we want him to do? Okay, then we need to do. So they're kind of manipulating him. If you think about it, if you read those tweets, and I'm sure that foreign countries and other people are reading those tweets every day.
All right, all right. You just mentioned about tax brackets, right? And he is going to do something with tax-wise, talking about the business tax being 35, could be reduced to 17.
Right.
What's your comment on that?
Okay. He's going to simplify the tax code. That's a very simple thing to say. You looked at the tax code? The tax code is at least 950 sections. I mean, it's more than that, but the one that I personally deal with a lot is 950. So how are you going to go to what's called a flat tax? In other words, I don't care if you're Donald Trump or you're a guy living in your car. It's irrelevant. You're still going to pay 28%. That's one of the proposals. As far as the business tax, the idea is that if you drop the business tax, that it will stimulate the economy, make more jobs. Maybe, maybe not. One of the things that they're really looking at that I think is going to be very interesting to see is this, what's called the Dodd-Frank Act. The Dodd-Frank Act came about because, remember, in 2008, the economy just, what's the word, tanked?
Crashed.
Crashed, it's a better word. So they put this law in that says that banks have to be very accountable. Well, banks are accountable. They're big banks, small banks, but they have to do this paperwork. The problem is that right now in the world, in banks, I was reading the other day, there's about $70 trillion sitting there. It's not being invested.
$70 trillion.
Trillion, T-R-I.
Oh.
So $70 trillion is sitting on the sideline.
Doing nothing?
Yeah, that people are not using to buy machinery or to buy houses or cars or whatever, or their children get their children through education. So the thinking with Donald Trump, at least what I was reading, was that if they take off this extra layer of bureaucracy, that the banks will begin to loan money. That remains to be seen. That's a political issue too. Do you do this?
Well, of course. If whatever he does will bring the 70 trillion into the pot,
$70 trillion.
That's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Right. But how can he do it?
By
tweeting?
No, his idea is to take off regulation, make not only in the banking industry, but in the environmental protection, all that stuff.
One thing for sure, he's going to be proactive for business, right?
That's what he says. Yeah.
That's where his expertise lies. Right? But politically, internationally, and domestically, for whatever, and we find himself. A lot of people, when I ask, tell me this: "Hey, Jack, let's give him some time."
Okay.
All right. Probably we should adopt that. Just give him some time. Wait for 2 or 3 months. We get you back on the show. Talk about it.
I think, yeah, but I do think that the United States, if you look at the map, and I'm sure you watched the election as I did.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
And all of the people in the media were stunned, and the American
people.
You know what?
Every time when I watch, I have the feeling as if I'm watching a cartoon.
Yeah, because of the colors of the states: red state, blue state,
and then everything, and the speech, even the movement, the arms, the swearing look.
Yeah.
I guess like watching a cartoon. Yeah. Anyway. My dear audience, today with my good friend, Stephen Huntley, financial investment advisor, very famous. We're sharing some basics about how this moment, every Americans worry about. Yeah. We worry about we shall be same proud as before, or we will do better. We don't know, right? Everything is in question mark. And the conclusion is that let's give him some time.
Okay.
Okay. Let's take a short moment now. When we come back, we'll picking up about our New Year resolution. Stay with us. Hello, my dear folks, my dear fellow Americans. To here in Southern California, my dear fellow Californians, welcome back to the East-West show. From the east to the west, we want to bring all kinds of information necessary for you to be referential to your life, especially at this very moment when we are celebrating a new year. By that, I'm still in the mood of it. Right? We need some resolution. There are all kinds of resolutions, but the basic resolution I have to share with my friend Steve Huntley, a financial investment advisor, is a big one. It's the one probably everyone, no matter if you live in Trump Tower, or you live in your own car, or you are out on the street. Right? You really have to have a resolution to make. So once again, Steve, welcome back to the show. Okay. Now, in general, why would we have to have a New Year resolution?
Well, I think I can't speak about your losing weight or that. But I can say that when you have a resolution, it's a plan. It's the start of a plan, and you need to have a plan for what you want in life. Everybody wants something different in their financial life. Some people want to put their kids through school. Some people want to retire. Some people want to start a new business or a charity or whatever. They need to have a plan, because if you don't plan for it and you don't start like right now, it's not just going to happen. Experience teaches us, and I'm sure you see that. It just doesn't happen. You have to kind of work your way towards that, you know.
Yeah, very good, very good. And well, you know, people might, the plan is a word, right?
Yeah.
But to different people, the word means different things.
Right.
If you are as rich as Donald Trump, you don't even care about the plan, the word plan, or the content of the plan.
Right.
But to a person as small as Jack Chow, you really have to, number one, have a plan. Number two, have a content in the plan.
Right.
Number three, to make the plan work.
That's right.
Right. So how do you recommend to the average Sues and the Joes a plan to start with?
It's pretty simple. If you really think about it, it's pretty simple. The first question that any professional should ask you is, what do you want? What's your goal? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years? Okay, once you understand that, then you say, okay, because everybody's different. Everybody looks at money different. Everybody looks at their financial life different. Then you start building a plan from there. There's lots of tools out there that you can use, not just retirement tools, but sometimes tools that help reduce taxation or whatever. Some are very sophisticated, some are extremely simple. But you put that together. Then the third part, the key part, is you have to evaluate that plan as you go through life. You may be in your 21 years old and just a single guy, you know, living with your folks, and now 10 years later you're 31 years old and you're married and have 2 kids. Life will change. And as long as you have a plan that's adaptable to that, that makes sense, that helps you reach those long-term and short-term goals, that's what it's all about.
Let me try to understand you in a better way.
Sure.
Though we say never too late to learn, never too late to start, you still want people to start as early as this could.
Yeah, today, you start today.
Today.
The reason is because, okay, people can say, well, I'm in my 60s and I should have done this in my 20s. Okay, what's in the rearview mirror is in the rearview mirror.
Forget it.
I can't change that.
Yeah.
I can change what happens today, what happens in my future. I can't affect that.
I see. All right. Okay. Very good. So, there is it is a simple concept, but it is rough in handling, right? Specifically, if a family with a husband being the only breadwinner, and they have 2-3 kids, and one wife, let's say the size of a family size of 5, okay, with a certain income, like say X amount of dollars, say, well, average, right? So, by percentage, what do you recommend? How much they should put on each? How much they should consider to reserve? And what kind of plan you recommend? Probably my audience need that, and they don't want necessarily do a consultation, say, I make XYZ number of dollars, you want to plan out. By adopting the percentage, though, they might be principally right on the track.
Okay, let's take the family. Father, mother, 3 kids. Okay, fairly young kid, like middle-aged kid. Okay, I'm gonna give them a new way of thinking about their money. Okay, in America, in our economy, the way people think about their money now is, I'm the father, as an example. He's the breadwinner. Okay, let's say he's the sole breadwinner.
And the sole only breadwinner.
The sole breadwinner. I'm not. Okay, and he says, I get the money. And I'm going to start writing checks and pay my bills, and whatever's left over, I'm going to try to invest. I'm going to try to save, or I'm going to try to help my kids. What I want to think about is the exact opposite. Okay,
all right. Why
not pay yourself first? You work very hard as the father. You're out there with your own business or your own family. So instead of, when you get your paycheck, instead of sitting down and starting to write checks to the utilities or whatever, write yourself a check. And usually it's 10%. So let's say you make $1,000. You write yourself a check. What I mean by writing yourself a check is like 10%. So 10% is $100. So that $100 goes into, you know, your retirement fund or your fund for your kids, whatever you want. You paid yourself first. That means you have 90% of what's left over to live your life, pay your bills,
take care of the family.
Take care of the family. Okay, now that means you're living within your means. You're not starving to death. You're not saying I'm going to give 50% of my no, 10%. That 10%, believe it or not, because the advantage comes in what's called the time value of money. In other words, the longer you put that 10% in at a certain percentage interest rate, whatever, even if it's conservative, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, that money will continue to grow. And then after a while, it will grow on itself and continue. And someday you're going to look up and go, wow, I got a whole chunk of money.
I never thought I got that kind of money, right?
Yeah. It's painless because if you don't see it, if you take the money out and you're paying yourself first, you say, oh, then I only earn at 10%, I don't see it. It's there. I control it, but
just pretend you earn only 90% of what you deserve.
So now you got 90%. Now you go to your wife and you say, okay, wife, okay, 3 kids. This is how much money we're going to live on. We got to pay rent, we pay food, we get all this other stuff.
So on and so forth.
But
and food.
One day you're going to wake up and go, I'm going to look at my account, and you've got $1 million into it, you know, or whatever you have. But it's amazing how that time value of money continues to grow and to grow and to grow. It's one of the great facts of mathematics and of the financial world that it just continues to grow.
I see. And sometimes taking the 10% out of your paycheck has to bear some kind of pain.
Right.
Because for a small size family, to cut off 10%, the cut itself is not a small one.
Okay, so let's say you earn $1,000 a month, okay? You take out $100 a month and you park it. You know, you invest
park it. Okay.
Park it. That means that, well, if you're 4 weeks in a month and you've taken $100, that's $25 a week. So if you divide that by, if you break it down into, like you divide 7 into 25, it's about $3 a day. It's a little over $3 a day.
All right, okay.
If you do it like that, it's a little bit more palatable, a
two
little more comfortable.
2 cups of coffee.
Yeah. You say it's, it's a Big Mac or whatever.
Yeah, the Big Mac.
But if you do it like that, it's a little simpler to understand and excuse me, maybe not understand, but to feel more comfortable about doing it. Say, I'm willing to forego 1 extra latte a week because I can take that money and invest it.
Because the impact, divided by 30 was kind of so minimized.
Yeah. So just take the 10% and just divide it out and to make it into very small increments, and then you'll say, well, I can have 1 latte a day instead of 2. Or, you know.
By logic, a size of family like that, what kind of percentage on food? What kind of percentage on, for example, wives' makeups? Well, you know, the ladies' dress, right?
Usually you see,
and the husband's suits, or so on and so forth.
So usually you see 15 to 20% goes to rent or to purchasing a house or something like that. Usually 20% goes to feeding food, and then so that's 40%. So the other 60% goes for everything else. You know, kids' guitar lessons, going to the movies, and all that
dancing schools, singing schools.
But you don't feel guilty about spending it because you've already taken 10% off the top and invested it in your future.
You're better off already.
Yeah, so you're not like worrying about, oh my gosh, am I gonna, if I take the kids out to dinner, as an example.
So the 10% will be your name and your wife's name.
Of course.
Yeah, both of you.
You bet.
Right?
You bet.
Otherwise, they'll upset your wife. Say, hey, you're.
No, I believe that I believe in absolute transparency. The kids, not the kids, but the wife and the husband need to be able to look at their investments at any time they want to, and sit down with a professional and say, actually, you should do it on a regular basis. I do it on a quarterly basis. You sit down and say, okay, what's changed in your life? in the last 3 or 4 months? You had it. You're pregnant. You have another kid. Okay. Do we need to move some money around? Do we need to leave things? Do we need more aggressive, non-aggressive? That type of stuff. So, yeah. But I believe in transparency, and I believe in husband and wife being able to look at it in any time they want to.
I see. Especially when those young people who just got married, right? Planning to have their kids, planning to go ahead, and even planning to buy a house. How do you recommend them?
Okay, their kids are a little different.
They're not making a lot of money, but making both of them working.
What's the priority?
Yeah.
Okay,
they're
are you
both
going to
working?
They're both working.
Yeah.
They're starting their life together. They just got out of school. They're on their way. Okay. Question is, when you sit down with them, what's important to you? Well, it's important to us, as an example, to buy a house. Okay. I'm not a mortgage person. I do have very good mortgage people. You're going to have to save some money, but the money has to be in a position where when an opportunity comes up to buy a house, you can take that money out and use it. So it can't have strings attached to it, like a retirement plan or something like that. For the kids, you do the same thing. You know, what do you want to do for your children? I mean, where do you see yourself in 5 years? With 3 children, 4 children, whatever? And you can figure out from there. Is it important for you to have your child educated? Is it important for you to have a child have like a quinceañera or something like that? And then you just plan for it, you know?
All right. And I should say my young friends, as my audiences, they might like the recommendation. Well, it is somebody trying to share their life experiences or something learned throughout the whole life to you for free. And those advices might worth a lot. So stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break, please. Hello, dear folks. Welcome back to the discussion about money. As a matter of fact, it's actually a discussion about your future. You may be rich, you may be not rich, you may be better off, you may be just above keep your nose above the water. So anybody needs a plan in case of the rainy days. Even if it's never gonna rain, you're gonna get older and older and older until the day you're on walking sticks. Something like that. So anyway, it never hurts you if you have a plan, financial plan. Today with my good friend, as the start of a year, the smartest resolution of the year is try to see if you have a plan. Right. If you do not have one, have one. If you have one, try to keep it up. That's it. Right? So Steve Hundley is the investment advisor, financial investment advisor, who I, not only as a friend, trust every time when I have my own questions. So Steve, needed to say, we need to find out to a family, like the example just now, with one breadwinner, one housewife, 3 kids, right? They need to set up an education plan. Am I right?
That's correct.
So do you want to have the family set up an education plan before they have kids, or they do plan after plan following the birth of each kid? Which is better?
Yeah, if you know you're going to have children, you might want to take some of this money, this 10% that you're putting away, and look at it and
also 10%.
And just
recommended.
Just take 10% off the top, whatever you earn, put it away. Okay, now. You anticipate having children, all right? So that's great. Now you want to educate. Look at the price of education when they say education, what you're really looking at is what is the price of a college education. Right now, it goes up probably about 5 to 6% a year or something like that. You can calculate what it's going to be. So let's say you have a little bit money set aside, and a little bit of that money you're going to use for your children's education. Okay. Now you have a child. Great. So you want to be able to say to that child, in 18 years, son, you're going to UCLA, you're going to Berkeley, you're going to go to Harvard, wherever. So there's basically two vehicles you can use to save money that are really simple. One's called the 529 fund. By the way, when you see these numbers like 529 and 401k, they all come from a tax code. All right. 529 fund is simply this. It's a fund parents can put money into, and it's designed for education only. So in other words, you put the money into it. It's actually, the structure of it is controlled by the state, but the actual presentation is done by the government, I mean the federal government. So you put money into this thing, and the way it works is like this. The younger the child is, the money is put into a little bit more, a touch more aggressive mutual funds. And as the child gets older, it gets less and less aggressive. So when the child turns 18, now essentially you got this big pot of money that's sitting in a, you can take the money out, you can use it for educational purposes.
Tax-free?
Tax-free. So let's say that your child is 18 years old and comes to you and says, Mom and Dad, I don't want to go to college. I want to go to spend a year in Paris studying architecture. You can say to them, okay, here's the money out of the 529 fund, go. It's an the law says it's an educational purpose. Okay.
I see.
So the only thing you can't use the money for is on a 529 fund. Let's say that Johnny is in New York and you want him to come home for Christmas. Okay, you can't buy him a ticket with the 529 fund. That's a no-no. But you can use it for any educational purpose.
I see.
So it's not just buying books and tuition. It's if they want to use a special thing. Now, let's say that all three of these young children from this family are brilliant. They absolutely all get scholarships. So now you got this big chunk of money. So what are you going to do with it? So a 529 fund allows
money reserved
for this 529. You and the husband go and the wife go. We saved all this money. What can we do with it? There's basically two things you can do with it. One is you can give it to a close relative. Let's say that their cousin is needs to go to. You can give it to them, or you can
also for education.
For education, remember, or the other way, or you can say to the 529 fund, I'm done. I want my money out, and you pay a 10% penalty, and you're done with it. So it's set up like that.
There's only 10%.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a thing about saving money for college. I put a lot of kids through college. Is to not tell them you have money aside for college as a parent. The reason is you want the kid to study. You want him to get a scholarship or whatever. And then if they don't and you need to fill in the gaps of the money you save, you can say, son, your mom and I love you, congratulations, here's $10,000 for your education. That's one way to save. The other way to save is we use life insurance. We use not life insurance where you buy a big policy for $1 million and if you die. It's called cash value life insurance. And what it is you...
Oh, speaking of life insurance though.
Sure.
I keep on receiving some AAA offers.
Okay.
They have the 200, 250, whatever life insurance. And by looking at the monthly fees, well, I kind of under the impression too good to be true.
Okay, now I
only $30-something per month.
There are sometimes when there's two types of life insurance in the world. There's kind of a protection life insurance, which is called term, and then there's the type that collects money, that collects permanent insurance. What I think they're offering is just a simple term policy. You die within 20 years, your heirs would get $100,000 or whatever it happens to be. But the way they do it is...
What if I don't die?
Well, if you have a term policy and you don't die, you have some choices to make. At the end of 20 years, what happens is, one, the premium usually goes up 5-fold. So if you're paying $100 a month, now you're paying $500 a month. So what do you want to do? Do you want to let the policy go? You can do that. Okay.
I want some cash back.
Yeah, you're not going to get any cash back.
No?
It's on a term policy. Term.
Okay. No
you
cash
can, you can
back,
let the
for
policy
example.
go. You can reduce the death benefit and start a permanent policy where you'll be getting cash value into the policy. Or you can pay it. Nobody pays it, but you have that option. You know, so term is designed very strategically. I need this money for 20 years in case I die.
Regardless of what you do, you're not getting any cash back.
Right. Now, yeah, great. Now there's another type of life insurance called permanent insurance, and that's the idea is you're not so much concerned about the death benefit as you're concerned about getting
Accumulation.
Right.
Cash,
So that's where you can use cash for educational purposes.
Yes,
You can, but the thing about that I like, what I use cash for, cash value life insurance is, let's say you set this thing up where the kid, you're not going to pay for any more life insurance cash after he's 18 years old. Let's say the kid's really smart and he goes to Harvard and he's got a free education, right? Okay, you still got this money, you still got a life insurance policy, okay? Now, he becomes 30 years old and he comes back to you and he says, Mom and Dad, I want to buy a house, okay? Now you take the money out of the cash
money.
Right. Or I want to get married, I want to do whatever I want to. You still got a life insurance policy. Okay, you still got a life insurance policy, still got cash in it. It's making money, it's percolating. You take the money out, most of the money can be taken out tax-free.
When people approach you for help,
Yeah.
for a financial plan, do you offer service that includes the insurance devices?
Yeah, I
You
do.
do?
I have licenses, I've been doing it in life insurance in all different varieties for 20 years or so.
That's even better.
Yeah.
That's even better. The other day, my agent kind of called me recommending something to do. I was discussing with her, and she said, at your age, probably you want to think about getting insurance for your son rather than yourself.
Yeah.
She tried to explain to me that I have to pay a monthly, very high monthly premium, whereas with my son, you don't have to do the same thing. End of the day, you want your son to have the money. Why don't you do it the other way?
Okay.
So does that sound like a
Depends
advice?
on, everything is different. You know, if your son is the insured, and depends on the policy. You know, if it's like a term policy, something's going to have to happen to your son. Okay, if your son has a permanent policy, and he's the insured, and maybe you own the policy. Okay, upon something happens to Jack, and then the policy then goes, let's say it's willed to your son, he can do whatever he wants to with it. It's just money.
All right. Okay, very good.
There's a lot of different ways to do
All right,
this.
with my friend Steve Hundley, we're learning a lot about how you want to manage your money, which means life, which equals to life, and the quality of life at least. All right. Let's take a very short moment now. When we come back, we put all the consideration together, even including customer protections. Right. How we want to keep ourselves not only healthy, but also protected. Right. And then with some money in the bank. Okay, stay with us. Hello, dear folks. Welcome back to the East-West Show, exclusively sponsored by Paul Bettany, a name brand represent for men's suit and jackets. That, of course, represents culture, tradition, and even lifestyle. And with my good friend, Steve Hundley, today we're having some good time with the understanding about how you can plan yourself. In other words, plan your life smartly, sober-mindedly, and practically. Right? Without having to suffer a lot. So, Steve, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Once again.
Thank you.
We touched some basics, and it came to all one point that as a family, we're still using the same example that we created. One husband, only breadwinner, and housekeeper, 3 kids, say 5, 7, 9. For example, like that, right? Okay, now, they have, number one, you recommended 10% put aside for the family reserve selectively invested into some of the good, whatever. In other words, to hold on to some portfolio, whatever, right? And then you have to put aside another plan for 10% for child's education, for the children, for the three. For the 10%, you can plan it one time with a consideration with a plan that I'm going to have three kids. Or you can put 10% down there anyway, waiting for the kids to arrive.
That's right.
And then you are down to 80%. So you're going to ask yourself or discuss between wife and husband. Say, do we need a house or keep on renting? Right? And you do the comparison. You decide renting or getting a house. You need to put another 20%. So you're down to 60. For food, everything. You're talking about another 20. And that brings down to only 40. For utility and the gas, insurance,
5-10%,
car payment, whatever, you're talking about another 20. So you're down to 20%. So what do you do with the only 20%?
It's whatever you want, you know.
Do whatever you want.
I believe.
Go to Disney concert.
Go to Disney. Why not?
Twice
do
a month?
whatever people like to do. Some people like to travel.
20%.
They got
only
3
20%.
kids. They probably have a lot of that money is already invested in lessons for the kids or taekwondo or whatever. You know.
And by then, the first 10% they put aside might start working already.
That's right. It's already working. Okay. So I know it may seem, oh, we're making this big sacrifice, but let's go back to the 10% off the top. If you don't see it, if you never see it, if it's taken out immediately out of your check or out of your bank account, then you don't realize that.
Oh, is it a mind thing? That's a mind thing.
It's mental.
Mental, right?
Yeah.
So you just pretend you never see the 10%.
Right. Yeah. And remember what you're doing. The philosophy is, the thinking is, you're paying yourself first. You work hard. It's your money.
I see. You're the one.
Pay yourself first. Pay yourself first.
You're the one.
Yeah.
You deserve the first.
I'm the breadwinner.
The first chunk.
I get the first chunk.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. So, and of course, for the only 20%, according to you, that you can do whatever you want. For a wife's makeup.
Or clothes.
For dress or skirt. For ties or suits. Something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Or whatever. You know. You're not constricted.
Yet within that whole area, customer protections is included. Right. For example, take telephone bills, for example. So I use T-Mobile. They cheat.
Okay.
They suck. They suck a lot. So how do you do that? How do you want to make sure that this family, this very family, with 5 phones now, right? Not
phone security.
Not become victims of their tricks.
They have to watch their bills. They have to watch what plan that they have, and that just includes anything, whether it's banking or their credit cards or whatever. You kind of have to watch this. If the service offers an alert, I would definitely sign up for it. Like I have my credit cards, I have set up for an alert. If it's over X amount of dollars, send me a message that says, hey, somebody just charged $500 on your credit card. Is that what you want? That type of thing. You know, and just be cognizant that try to use stuff that's encrypted. You know, like banks, like some huge banks like B of A and all those guys. Everything is encrypted, which is good. And also, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I get emails a lot from people that'll say, hi, I'm in a foreign country.
Oh,
you give me $25,000.
I have $25 million that I want to transfer to your account. And I pay 20%.
That's right.
Like that kind of thing.
I see that stuff all the time. If it looks too good, you know, if it really looks really too good to be true, it probably isn't. You know, people are out there thinking all day long about how to scam you.
Mostly you want to educate your housewife that don't go ahead when she is home doing nothing, having nothing to do. Well, she can easily be trapped.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because they target people like that, or they target a person because of their age or their sex or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Yeah,
And they are also taking chances.
right.
For example, the computer system is designed in a way, one way or the other, to trap people in. For example, out of 100, they will say, hey, probably there are only 10 to 15% who will call to argue.
That's right.
And the rest of 85 to 80%, well, are captured.
That's right.
I give you my example with T-Mobile, all right? Unless they come here to, I'll offer them a chance to explain. Other than that, well, I'm just telling my own story.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not representing EDI, neither do I do G&E TV, and just the Jack Chow's own experiences. Okay. When I signed a telephone contract, that contract was on automatic payment because I give them my bank card for monthly fees.
Okay.
In other words, I'm a man who is on a business travel most of the time. Just go ahead and charge when time is up because I trusted them. Right. And for that, you buy some devices, such as they offer you a new phone for, say, $1,000 or whatever, right? And then for the new phone, it is also on a monthly installment.
Right.
Nobody wants to buy a phone at the one lump sum of cash and then 2 months later find out not working, right? So
nobody does that.
So now you're talking about my authorization being the authorization for their monthly bill for the monthly installment. These two together, right? And I never authorized them to go ahead to charge me the whole thing for all the equipment that I have bought. Luckily, on my account, I have enough money to cover. Otherwise, they will knock you off. Knock me off set. Right? They took $1,436.65 at the one time out of my account. Right? I wasn't given notification. And later when I called, there is no explanation. Nobody seems to know anything. And they kick me back to the bank. Bank says, no, it's not us. It's T-Mobile. I give you the reference number. With the reference number, you file a claim. With the claim, you're kicked here and there, here and there, here and there. I was once kicked to their headquarters. And going back and forth, it was not until almost 2.5 weeks did I get some refund. When I got refund, some $200 gone already. And I had to call about where this $200 went, right? So it goes on and on and on. And up to today, I did not see anything explaining why they do it. Lucky me, I called, I asked. Right? So to most of the consumers, if they just to say, go ahead, trust the computers, they are right, I'm wrong. Well, money is theirs.
Right. And don't, I think also, don't assume anything. I mean, don't just assume that everything is like going along. You're the consumer. You're the father. You're the breadwinner with a wife and 3 kids, as the example has been, try to be a little proactive. Watch your statements. If something doesn't look right, you have the right to pick up the phone like you did and call them and say, I don't understand.
Exactly.
I'm
Today,
sorry, I don't understand.
This morning I called them, I said, start sending me the paper bills.
I don't understand.
And I'll take my card back. I no longer trust you.
And
but you guys proved to be not honest, so I no longer trust you.
So, and trust is everything. I mean, I spend 99.9% of my day earning my clients' trust.
That's why every time I call you, nobody else. I know financial people. I can give you at least 100 cards. Right? Okay, but I trust you because of the honesty.
So you have to be careful like that. The other thing that you have to be careful of is cybersecurity being your identity stolen. Your identity gets stolen. Be careful who you give your identity to, your Social Security number especially. Because Social Security, you can find out anything about a person, where they are. But the worst thing about Social Security is you can then take that number and falsely go out and get credit cards and then take that credit card and use
And
it up
spend
or
everything.
whatever.
And it takes you forever to explain. I was never involved.
That's right. And I've had this happen to me.
Huh.
Actually, I had a credit card, just an example, I swiped it in a gas station in another city out in LA, and somebody read the tape and used my credit card. So all I'm saying is, be aware. Don't be an ostrich. Don't put your head in the ground. There's people out there that are dishonest. There's also a lot of people out there that are very honest.
Understand one thing. Nowadays, you're in a world that is running forward with a light speed.
That's an understatement.
You're never going to catch up.
Yeah, that's right.
The only thing is that you hold on to yourself and be safe, look around, do what I did, just call them, say, hey, where did my money go?
Yeah.
I kept on paying January 4th. All right,
Yeah.
I paid bill and I knocked it down to zero. And only 1 month later, now, exactly 1 month and 1 day later, I find myself, they put $374 on top of me. And then the time interval, there was 1,400 taken.
Yeah.
And there was 200 missing. And all those numbers add up to $700. So
again, it goes back to monitoring your stuff, being proactive, being intelligent. And if you don't understand, don't say, well, I don't understand. Ask them.
Oh, is there a website you offer some free service?
Yeah,
please announce it.
Oh, my website?
My website or something.
Why don't you just use, here,
I can, look,
just email me.
Put it on
Just
the...
email me, Steve at lifeadvisor.net.
Life Advisor.
Yeah, but I spelled advisor, A-D-V-I-S-E-R.
S-E-R, okay.
Just for
not S-O-R.
Yeah, just for the fun.
Okay, very good. Just for the fun.
So just call me.
All
No,
right, my dear
I'm
audience, we thank Mr. Stephen Hunley very much for giving us the knowledge, the advices. And my dear audience, thank you all for watching. This is the start of a new year. It is the smartest way to think about a new resolution rather than anything else. Thank you.